Watch the Game podcast. Welcome, LA Cheatham. We got a victory to talk about tonight.
Yo, Benjamin Banneker, it's a Bears winning week. We feeling good. I'm ready to jump out the window with the rest of the city. Let's go.
Yeah, man. But hey, they traded Robert Quinn. That kind of changes the whole momentum of the victory. Such a big victory in New England for the Bears. But they have traded Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles for a fourth round pick in the 2023 NFL draft. Now, personally, we kind of knew this was or felt this was going to happen. It's the timing for me. It's like coming off of a big victory, a big primetime game victory where the team looked good in all three phases. The Chicago Bears look really good in all three phases. Justin Fields got a lot of the hype, got a lot of the pub on that one, but the team looked good in all three phases. And we could discuss that. 33-14 was the final score. This is our first opportunity to talk about it. And it's been a long time since it's been a few weeks since we've been able to respond to a victory.
Yeah, man, it feels different. Even though the last time we aired, I made the statement, Justin can play, just get him some help. So I was on that bandwagon. I know after we lost to the Vikings, I was ready to jump out the window for the wrong reason. After beating the Patriots, going to Foxborough, Belichick, the whole New England dynasty, everything they got going, because they still on the heels of that, and how soundly we beat them.
After beating the Patriots, going to Foxborough,
I'm ready to jump out the window. I'm ready to jump out the window.
Well, look here. Like I said, I'm kind of shook up behind this Robert Quinn thing, but we're going to get through this tonight. Robert Quinn going to Philly. We do play Philly. The Bears do play Philly week 15, December 18th in Philadelphia. Now, going forward, let's talk about this game because I've been looking forward to talking about it to you and share with the rest of the people. I've been having people hit me up, ask me what did I think about the victory. Total team victory. Justin Fields. They won because of Justin Fields. So this is one of those games that you should be really proud of. Me personally, I just hope that in the future they won't have to run him as much.
Yeah, what he had like 12, 14 carries, something like that for I think 84 yards or something, if I remember the stats correctly.
14 carries for 82 yards. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I have my 4 and the 2 mixed up. Dyslexia sometimes they get the best of people. But anyway, the game plan was so solid, and you gotta give Getsy, Flus, you gotta give them credit because they kind of had a mini bye week. They went back, looked at the tape, saw some things that they did well that they could exploit. They implemented it. It was on the field, on national TV for everybody to see. So you got to feel good about that. I know Justin threw the one pick. I thought that ball got tipped. Shout out my man Nate because we was texting while we was watching the game, and he was ready to, again, jump out the window for the wrong reasons. I was like, yo, that ball got tipped, though, at the line of scrimmage. So he was ready, he was ready to sail Justin up the river. But I think besides, and maybe it's something about Justin playing on Monday night, but besides the Pittsburgh game from last year, this is his best outing as a Chicago Bear, as an NFL quarterback. And you saw the reason why he was selected in the first round. You saw why he was so a high-value commodity coming out of Ohio State. You saw it on the field. I told y'all last week, Justin can play this game. You just got to get him some help. And I should have went a little bit further and said, the play calling has to suit what he does well. What you saw in Foxborough versus the New England Patriots was all of that coming to fruition. And with the Packers struggling, I'm telling you, I'm jumping out the window tonight. With the Packers struggling, they lost to who they lose to the Commanders. Well, we did too. But with the
That's
Packers
3 in a row for the Packers, by the way.
Yeah. With the Packers struggling, the Lions they not even relevant. We not even gonna talk about them. We got a chance. We got a chance. The NFC on a whole is down. Tampa Bay ain't playing well. The NFC South ain't nothing. The NFC West, everybody's tied, I think, at 3-3 or something like that. They right there together. We 3-4. I'm jumping out the window. We got a chance. We got it. I'm not saying we're gonna make the playoffs, but I'm saying we got a chance to be relevant and be watching these games in December, and they actually matter.
Well, I know that was one of the things that you talked about before the season started, that's what you wanted, was to have a reason to continue watching the Bears in some type of contention. Me, myself, personally, I just wanted to see progress. I think we saw progress. We get the best of both worlds. We saw progress. We saw the team win. And then, but to be honest with you, with this trade with Robert Quinn, I just think they're saying the writing is on the wall. We building. We rebuilding for the future, and got him out of here. So some other young guys gonna get an opportunity to play. I think it's Robinson, number 91. He gonna get a chance to play more at that position at defensive end. Then you still got Roquan Smith. Now, this is the thing about Roquan. Now, Roquan broke down in tears at a press conference. He found out. He was at a press conference when he found out about the trade. He was really choked up. He couldn't even really finish the press conference. I mean, It's understandable. If you ever had a teammate or a friend or a co-worker or something like that, and they're gone. I can understand that. So that's fair. But this is an opportunity for him to even step up even more and be the leader of that defense along with Eddie Jackson. So him and Eddie Jackson have to step up even more to lead that defense, because the writing was on the wall when they got rid of Khalil Mack. And then a lot of people wondered before the season even started, was Robert Quinn the next guy to be dealt and traded away? Now, looking at Robert Quinn's tenure, 3 years, 2.5 years in Chicago, first year not so hot. I think he got off to a good start against the Giants in his first game with the Bears, but the rest of the season, which was that COVID season, no fans in the stand, and he didn't play that well. Now, last year, he come back in 2021, and he breaks Richard Dent's single season sack record. He had 18.5 sacks last season, 2021. This year, 1 sack. 1 sack this year. So they're not really losing a lot of production, and they're going to get younger. They're going to get, I guess, we don't know what that pick is going to present to us as far as who it is, what it is as far as the position. 4th round pick, 2023, something to look forward to. Ryan Poles putting his stamp on this franchise right now.
Hey, and the tea leaves, what I've been hearing is maybe a reason that Roquan, and this is purely speculation, but the tea leaves, when you listen to the other outlets, is Roquan might possibly be next to be shipped out of Chicago. We don't know if he's going to be here past the trade deadline. He's asking for, I think, $20 million or something like that. If the Bears don't feel like they going to pay him, they might just ship him off to get an asset to build for the future. You never know. So we got to see that play out.
Yeah, that's something to think about. And you stole the words right out of my mouth, because I was thinking about that. The trade deadline is on November the 1st, and there's still a few days before that. You got the Cowboys coming up, and we just don't know. I mean, he could be trade bait as well. Now, we talked about that. Let's kind of get on the high note and enjoy the victory in Foxborough. against the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick coming into Monday night with an opportunity to pass up Papa Bet George Allen. This was one of the biggest reasons why I did not want the Bears to lose this game, even though I told you I was really concerned because of the coaching matchup, the inexperience of Matt Eberflus and the legendary Bill Belichick going head to head. And man, I don't know when the last time I've seen Bill Belichick get out coached the way he did. And the way they consoled at the end of the game, I mean, big ups to Matt Eberflus. Hopefully, this will not be the highlight of his tenure as the Chicago Bears head coach.
See, Belly did a lot of that to himself by playing both of them quarterbacks. He started Mac Jones. Mac Jones didn't come out too hot. Mac Jones threw that interception. And I think he was already on record before the game saying that both quarterbacks would play. So we know the old adage, if we got two quarterbacks, we don't got one. So I think I think he kind of outcoached himself, and that was just bad planning on his part to kind of announce that before the game. And then when he saw Mac Jones throw that interception to make that switch. Mac Jones didn't look like that ankle was bothering him, because I saw him get outside the pocket a few times, and it wasn't no giddy up in his stride, no hitch in his stride. He was moving. If Mac Jones is your guy, let him play. So I think a lot of this loss has to go on Bill Belichick for trying to be the smartest guy in the room when he didn't have to be. And you got to get a lot of the credit to our beloved Chicago Bears and the coaching staff, which we've been objective in saying, Getsy got to be better, Flus got to be better. They did a great job getting this team ready to play on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you're talking about they had 12 days. They were considered a mini bye. So they considered it a mini bye. The one thing I do not like is the fact that Justin Fields in the press conference, he said he let everyone know that they stole some plays from the Baltimore Ravens. And I was like, that's not really a good strategy going forward, because, you're giving chalkboard material to other teams to be able to kind of figure out what you're doing. Now, next week, hell, they may run plays from the Buffalo Bills. I don't know. I mean, but next time, don't give away the game plan because you're so happy you got a victory, in my opinion. Touching on the game itself, the Bears rushed the hell out the football. I think the Bears are probably the best team in the NFL rushing. Freezing up. I got a bad connection on you. Freezing up.
We back.
Okay.
We back.
All right. I kind of lost you there. You froze up on me a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on? But we back. Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I said, but Justin, they might have stole them plays from the Michigan Wolverines. As much as they rushing the ball and leading the league in rushing, they might have stole that from the Wolverines, and Justin, being a Buckeye, didn't want to give that information out. So, he might have been He might have been selling us a bill of goods saying they stole that from the Baltimore Ravens.
He should still got the players from a hardball. I just don't want to see him give away the game plan like that anymore in the future. Wait till the end of the year when you get a chance to talk a little bit more and refrain back on the season. In my opinion, I think he still is looking for the little Mooney. He's looking for Mooney a little bit too much for me. He almost threw a pick looking for Mooney. He did throw a pick in the game, but he almost threw another pick looking for Mooney. Overall, I think he did a good job distributing the ball. N'Keal Harry had a chance to get in the game. First round pick from the Patriots that was traded over to the Bears in the offseason, just before training camp. He was able to get in the game and make a catch. Dante Pettis was able to get in the game and he replaced
17.
He replaced Velus Jones at punt returning, and Khalil Herbert had a little kick return responsibility. So we were correct on those adjustments as far as what we were expecting with the punt return situation. Now, Velus Jones did get some snaps. I don't think he touched the ball. You got a touchdown catch and run by Khalil Herbert. A touchdown scored by David Montgomery. Just an overall really good performance by the offense. Cairo Santos is the NFC special teams player of the week. He hit on all of his field goals before the offense, before the offense could really get going to get into the end zone. Cairo Santos did his part, being consistent. Now, Cairo Santos, since I think the Giant game, he took some personal time off. And if you remember, Cairo was struggling a little bit, not on so much the field goals, but on the extra point attempts. And since he's came back to the team after that personal leave, he's been, I think, 100% on everything. So he's back to his form, doing his thing. It looks like the offense is finding a niche and finding a stride. The question is, how is the defense? What is the defense going to do? What kind of adjustments they got for, losing Robert Quinn right after that victory? Such a big win for the team. And now you got to go with the defense. They got to make the adjustments now. Now, Robert Quinn's not around anymore. So what are the adjustments they're going to make going into Dallas now? That's the thing. That's what we got to figure out now. Going forward, who steps up in that situation? I think it's going to be Robinson. He's going to get an opportunity to play that spot. And Gibson on the other end. So they're getting young on defense. And now the defense has to make the adjustments. Now, keep in mind, I was concerned about the substitution. Okay, so get back to Mac Jones starting in this game. Mac Jones started, and I felt like Bailey Zappi should have started myself. And I was like, okay, Mac Jones. I would have rather seen Mac Jones, and that's who they put out there. They put out Mac Jones. Mac Jones went out, didn't look so hot. And once he saw Justin Fields still in that spotlight, he wanted to step his game up a bit. He was scrambling. He started to hit on a few passes here and there. And then when he threw the pick to Jaquan Brisker, that was Jaquan Brisker's first NFL interception. Okay, so he threw that pick and he was pulled immediately after that. Now, this had to be the lowest point of the game for the Bears, because immediately after Mac Jones threw that pick to Brisker, I felt like Luke Getsy got a little cute in the play calling. He had him in that spread set, no backs in the backfield. And I'm like, don't get cute now. He got cute. I think they went 3 and out. And then they made the substitution. They brought in Bailey Zappi. And I was like, oh, damn. I mean, you could feel it. You knew that this guy was pumped up and the team was motivated. Gillette Stadium was fired up and ready to go, because I think the fans in New England, they wanted to see Bailey Zappi anyway. So the fans was pumped up. His teammates was fired up. He brought some electricity to his team. boom, boom. He hit my man Jalen Johnson, which was probably the worst defensive player of the game. Jalen Johnson got hit. You know, he hit him over. I forget who the receiver was that he hit, but he gives up a big play over the top. I'm like, damn, Jalen, you know, I think he's better than that, but I think Jalen has not been getting targeted a lot this season. Along with being not being healthy and not being on the field as much, they took that shot. And I was like, damn, it looked like the Bears about to get zappy. I just thought, I said, damn, now they about to get zapped. So again, they come back. Justin Fields throw the sidearm in that same formation that I did not like, because they tried to run that play earlier, but it didn't go well. They tried to run, they ran it again, and this time Khalil Herbert took it in the end zone just before halftime, and that's when the tide turned again back in the Bears' direction. But for a little while, I was really concerned about the Bears after Zappy got off to such a hot start.
Because we came out, we scored first, and then we go up. What was the score before they scored? I think we was up 10-7, something like that. We was up.
It was 10-7, and I forget. I know they scored a rushing touchdown on the second one to make it 14-10.
Right.
And then right after that,
we scored.
I got to check that out. But right after that, the Bears just came out, regrouped, and got it done. Khalil Herbert, big play, got in the end zone before halftime, and then they had the ball coming back out of the locker room and kept the momentum going.
And that was my point. It was some momentum changes. I don't want to say they was violent momentum changes in that first half, but it was like, you know, we came out and scored. We as Bears fans, we feeling real good. And then they put Zappy out in the game, and he comes down. He looks like, oh, the tide's finna turn. It's the Bears. You know how it's finna happen. And then we score again before half, and we go into the half feeling, hey, okay, we in this thing. We might could pull this out. And then, you know, the second half was the second half. We blew the doors off of them. But let me speak to the New England Patriots fan base. For those of you that check out the Watch the Game podcast, let me tell y'all gotta stop thinking that Tom Brady, reincarnated, is going to walk through that door. Because that's why Bailey Zappi is playing right now. You drafted Mac Jones in the first round. I think where he went 15, 17, somewhere.
15. He was drafted number 15 in the I think the 2020 draft.
Well, okay. You drafted him 15.
2021.
2021 draft. Drafted him. He came out of Alabama, so he's played big-time football. He's been in big-time games. He sat behind Jalen Hurts. He sat behind Tua. He was coached by Nick Saban. So I got to think this kid is ready for, you know, being under the tutelage or whatnot of Bill Belichick. But when he got hurt, then you got the kid that went to, he was at Western Kentucky, but he was somewhere before that. And he was a turnover machine. If you look at his stats, he threw like 14 picks at Western Kentucky, and wherever he was at before that, he threw like 34 picks in 37 games before that. Okay? But he's on your roster. He comes in the game. We all know Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, and Drew Bledsoe was the starter, and then Tom Brady got in there, and then 6 Super Bowl wins and 9 appearances later, he's the GOAT, okay? Yes, but that does not mean y'all just got dibs on the next Tom Brady. That does not mean y'all got a monopoly on, hey, we can go find the nobody that nobody else sees, put him on the field, and he's going to flourish. Stop thinking that. And you need to tell Bill Belichick that too. Stop thinking that. Mac Jones is the quarterback. Let him be the quarterback. That's why I'm glad. That's why they got their ass kicked like that. And it's good for Bill Belichick to experience that, because he's in a pissing match with Tom Brady right now since Tom Brady left and he went down there and won the Super Bowl, and he trying to say like it was my genius. I'm the reason we won all these Super Bowls. Whatever. Bro, you gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. It's a reason Bailey Zappi went to Western Kentucky. It's a reason. When he undrafted, he was an undrafted free agent signing. It's a reason for that.
He was drafted in the 4th round.
Okay. Who was undrafted? I forget who's undrafted. Scratch that part. But it's a reason, okay? It is a reason. It's a reason Mac Jones went to Alabama. It's a reason he's a national champion. It's a reason you picked him in the 1st round. Stick with the reasoning. You caught lightning in a bottle one time, that's cool. But people that win the lottery, they don't win that shit 2 and 3 times. It don't happen like that. It don't.
Well, this is my thing, man. I beg to differ with you on that because to Coach Bill Belichick's to the benefit of him, I got to give it to him because that's the thing with Coach. He's going to play the guy that's getting the job done. Now, Mac Jones was healthy. He put him out. He gave him an opportunity. The first sign of, hey, it's some trouble in the water, he pulled him. He was classic Bill Belichick. You know Bill don't put up with that. You can't fumble the football, and you can't throw it away. So I was not surprised that he did that. See, Bill is the one coach in the NFL that don't give a damn about how much money you make or your draft status. He's going to put the best guy out there at the time that he feels going to win the football game, and I got to give it up to him. I felt like Zappi should have played anyway, simply because he was rolling, and we didn't really know the health of Mac Jones, and I know at some point in time you had to bring him back. So, I mean, I just felt like you're putting the team in a hell of a situation when you take a guy that's hot like Zappi was, and you go switching it and going to Mac Jones. I mean, I know that's your guy. He did what he had to do. He put him out there, gave him the opportunity to keep his job, and he didn't play particularly well. Now, this is another thing. Mac Jones will be starting against the New York Jets coming up this week. So, to answer your question, he is giving Mac Jones the opportunity to keep his job. Okay, Mac Jones had a press conference today saying that he's been in this situation before. He's going to be professional, and he got to do everything. He's going to do everything within his power to keep his job, and I can respect that too. But at the same time, I like the approach of Bill Belichick saying, "I want the best guy on the field." Too many teams got to play the money man, and I can understand that too. But it depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to play the best guy, then it's got to be competition. And one place they're going to have to compete is in New England. They run the organization different from anyone else throughout the National Football League. I get the Tom Brady comparison to who's the quarterback? Drew Bledsoe. And we remember, we was around. It was like in the early 2000s. Drew Bledsoe got injured, and Tom Brady came out, and he took the job. He took the job, and I think Bailey Zappi had the same type energy. And now, after the first half, he didn't look particularly good either. A fumble handoff, a pick. I think he threw 2 interceptions.
Right.
So now that just reset the whole quarterback position. Let's get back in here. Let's get back in the lab. The competition is on. Neither one of you is playing on the top of your game, so now we're going to figure it out. So Mac Jones is going to get the start against the New York Jets coming up. But you know you're dealing with Bill Belly, and you know if things don't go right, he will sub his ass out.
But that's my point. Take Tom Brady off of the tape. Let's just look at what happened this year with another franchise. Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott gets hurt the first game. Cooper Rush comes in, and they're rolling. They got a big Sunday night game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Dak was ready to play that game. Who did they start?
I believe they started Dak, didn't they?
No, Cooper Rush started that game. Dak's first game back was versus the Lions this past week.
Okay.
Cooper Rush, they allowed him the opportunity. The team is rolling. You got this thing going. We're not going to make this change right now. We're going to stick with the hot hand. He went out there, I don't want to say he fell on his face, but he didn't get the job done, so they went back to Dak. Okay? To your point, if Zappy had won, they had won 2 in a row, 3 in a row.
Two in a row.
He's rolling. Mac Jones is coming off an injury, and they wanted Mac Jones. They being the Patriots, they wanted him to have surgery on it. Mac Jones got a second opinion from an outside source and basically said he could play. That's neither here nor there. But if Belly felt like Zappy was the best guy to play, he should have started the football game. But he went back to Mac Jones. So Mac Jones is your starter. You can't just pull him off of 3 bad drives and 1 pick. What is that doing to his confidence? We talk about this all the time with the Michigan situation. They quarterback with J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara. How that can affect the quarterback's confidence. If you're not confident going out there, especially being a quarterback, you doomed to fail. Look at Mitch Trubisky. That's why he's not succeeding in Pittsburgh. And Kenny Pickett came in because he wasn't confident. He didn't believe, that he could get the job done. So Belly pulling Mac Jones after 3 or 4 drives after turn. Every quarterback gonna throw an interception. But I'm QB1. So I'm coming back out here and I'm gonna get it back. If you was gonna start Bailey Zappi, just start Bailey Zappi. So if I'm Mac Jones, I'm feeling like, well, damn, am I the guy here? Am I?
Well, you dealing with Belly, and Belly's like no other coach. That's exactly what I expect from Bill Belichick. He gonna play the guy that he think gonna be giving them the win. He is not gonna go with the guy that they just by popular demand. It's competition.
He's afforded that opportunity because he had the GOAT in New England for 20 years. That's why he can do that. If you look at his record before he got the New England job when he was at Cleveland, he was an under 500 coach. Before Tom Brady took over, he was an under 500 coach. So because you had Tom Brady, your head then got big and you think, hey, I'm Bill Belichick. I know everything and I can make all this happen. Bro, no. You got to update your resume. I'm not giving you credit for 9 Super Bowl appearances and 6 Super Bowl titles in the year 2023. I'm not. I'm just not. You got to coach the team. If you felt like Bailey Zappi was the best player and he should have played, he should have started. You can't do that. So Belly fouled this one up. That was some bull jive, to quote Shannon Sharp. That was some bull jive.
I'll give you that from that perspective, but at the same time, you got to give the Bears defense and Allen Williams some credit for being prepared for both quarterbacks. And the Bears only gave up one. They was only giving up 1 touchdown in the second half all season. So they stayed true to form. They made the second half adjustments. They took advantage of 2 young quarterbacks with relatively a young defense with some veterans peppered in here there when you talk about Roquan and Eddie Jackson. And then you had Jalen Johnson coming back. The defense didn't give up any points in the second half. And the offense kept rolling. So we got to give our Bears some credit for being prepared for both quarterbacks. But I'm going to tell you, expect for the competition is on in New England.
Hey, that's fine. Here at Watch the Game, yes, the Bears are our favorite team, but we watching the whole game. We gonna talk about everything we see. So yeah, we tipping our cap to the coaching staff. We came on the show saying, hey, during the semi-bye week, the Bears did their thing. They did what they had to do and put it on the field and execute. So we giving them their credit. But we also gonna give Bill Belichick his share of his share of smoke when he deserves.
Big team win for the Bears. They rushed again for over 200 and some yards, and staying consistent with the running game. And I was glad that they were able to do that because at times I felt like they were trying to make this the Justin game, and I still think Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery have to touch the ball quite a bit. Now, both of them had 12 carries apiece. I think, let me see. I know they both rushed for like 62 yards. But I think Montgomery had like 15 carries, and Khalil Herbert had 12 carries. But they both rushed for 62 yards apiece. Uh, Justin Fields was the leading rusher in the football game for the Chicago Bears with 82 yards on 14 attempts. I don't want to see Justin rushing 14 times too often,
That's
but
what.
I take it. I take it in the win. I want him to get better in the passing game, better in the pocket. Offensive line get better. We got Byron Pringle coming back off the injury reserve. One of the wide receivers coming off in injury reserve, and what the center, I can't remember the name. Lucas Patrick. Patrick is going on injury reserve. Offensive line, Lucas Patrick, he's going on injury reserve. So one coming off, one coming on the offense. Byron Pringle coming back. Lucas Patrick going on injury reserve, getting ready for the Dallas game. We brought up Dallas earlier as we get ready to close. We brought up Dallas earlier, and I think Dallas has a hell of a pass rush with Micah Parsons and that hell of a fine defensive secondary they got. Now, they're a little weak against the run, but they went out and made an acquisition today. They went and got a player. I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to just throw it out there, but they did go get a defensive tackle, big defensive tackle to try and plug up the run. Dallas, one of the better defenses in the league. And when we talk about the NFC, you got to talk about Philadelphia, the only undefeated team in the NFL right now, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants. You got to talk about those teams because they're the top three teams in the NFC right now. When you're looking at record, and then you want to talk about trade deadline. Now, can't forget that now Philadelphia just added Robert Quinn to a defense that's really good already. So he's probably going to get, some. He's probably going to get limited snaps. They're probably not going to expect much from him. So he should be energized, ready to go. One sack with the Bears. So let's see how that affects him going forward. Going to a team with some people consider Super Bowl contentions, and cannot forget, talking about the trade deadline again now, the 49ers went out and got McCaffrey. Okay, so that was a shot in the arm for the 49ers. So finishing up the season, when you go down to the end of the season, two teams to look at as far as the trade deadline that made moves to get better, trying to make a push towards the NFC Championship because the Packers are struggling, the Buccaneers are struggling, the Hall of Famers are struggling. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they're both struggling. So now seems like San Francisco and Philly, like, look, we're going to take over. And not to mention the Super Bowl champs not doing all that hot, the Los Angeles Rams. So I guess Philly and San Fran, like, we're going to make a push to try and win the NFC. Is there for the taking. So just to add to to foreshadow to looking forward to the end of the season, you cannot forget about those teams. The Bears play Philadelphia week 15 in Philly. We get a chance to see them go up against Robert Quinn. But coming up next, we got the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, they already lost to the Giants. Okay, so you got the Dallas Cowboys coming up this week in Jerry World, and they will be wearing the orange helmets and orange jerseys. This the last game. I know you think it's an eyesore, but this the last game. The orange helmets, the orange jerseys, noon. No more primetime games for the Bears, which is going to be kind of easy on us. Get it on, get it over with. So there you go. No more primetime games. Bears in Dallas, Jerry World on Sunday at noon.
Okay, that just see. I told you I came on the show that I was jumping out the window, fired up tonight. That just really just brought me down. Them orange helmets and them orange jerseys.
This the last one. This the last game with the orange helmets and orange jerseys this year.
We'll deal with that on Sunday. But just let me just run you the NFC standings down, right? You already touched on the NFC East. So we got Eagles 6-0, Giants 6-1, Cowboys 5-2, Commanders 3-4, the Bears are 3-4, Seahawks They're the leaders in the NFC West, 4-3. Rams, 3-3. 49ers, 3-4. Cardinals, 3-4. The Bears are 3-4. You go to the NFC North, the Vikings 5-1, Packers 3-4, Bears 3-4. We don't need to talk about the Lions. Then you go to the NFC South, Buccaneers 3-4, Falcons 3-4. Everybody else in 2-5 or below. We right there. So, and we know that the NFL is a league of parity. We see teams go from worst to first all the time. I'm not saying the Bears can do that. I just want to be watching football in December, wrapping up Christmas gifts, worried about like, damn, did I forget to get LA something for Christmas? Did I get 12, number 12, the right size Michigan shirt this year? When I'm doing that and I sit down and watch the Bears, I just want it to be relevant so I don't have to come on here and be like, Justin, I don't want to be defending Justin at that point. I want everybody to still be engaged and riding this train because it's just more fun that way. It just is.
Well, me personally, I think Justin Fields, if he continues to stay healthy, there's going to be always something to look forward to with him going through the process of being a young quarterback. He had a really good showing on national primetime Monday night football. So Justin Fields alone, being healthy to finish the season, I need to see progress with him. I'll always be interested in the season, no matter what, long as he's healthy, ready to play, and continue to develop. Those are my expectations for the season. To see Justin progress, become the number one quarterback in Chicago, so that they can continue to develop the rest of this roster. Now,
but
we talked about the trade deadline.
I will say, I don't think the quote-unquote typical or average fan can see progress without wins or being in contention. And that's what I don't want to have to, for us to come on here on our platform to have to be like, well, no, if you look at the game, Justin really did some good things. Because I feel like that'll be our narrative instead of talking about everything we see. Well, at least be my narrative,
Well, this is the thing. The schedule's about to get tough for the Bears. They got the Cowboys in Dallas, then Miami coming to town. Okay. That's 2 days after my birthday. November the 4th is my birthday. November the 6th, the Miami Dolphins will be coming to town. Shout out to my man Darren Jackson, one of the biggest Dolphin fans I know. But they got the Buffalo Bills later on in the season. They got the Eagles later on in the season. So the schedule's about to get tough, a lot tougher for the Bears. I'm going to take a better look at that as we wrap up. Let me see. The Bears schedule here. You got the Dolphins, the Lions, and a lot of people thought the Lions was going to be a playoff team, remember?
Hard Knocks. Every team that's on Hard Knocks starting the season, people think they're going to have a good year. And it don't work that way. It just don't. It's like the Madden curse. Like, that's not a real thing. Tom Brady was on the cover of Madden. He ain't get hurt. Yeah. I think he won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah. You got to do it on the field, bro. You got to do it on the field. Bottom line, there's no victory speeches before the victory. So you got to do it on the field. So all of the fans that's giving the praise to Justin, I'm with you. But in the words of my man Bo Schembechler, the win against the New England Patriots was all about the team. Now, let's look at the end of let's look at some of the stronger opponents on the Bears schedule. Then we're gonna talk about a little bit of college football. Then we're gonna get out of here. Okay, the Bears got the Dolphins at home. They got the Jets in New York. They still got to play the Packers. They got the Eagles. They got the Bills, and they still got the Vikings. So now, excluding the Packers, we know they're struggling, but I'm never going to count Aaron Rodgers out until it's actually over with him. Until it's actually over for him. So I consider those to be some tough games for the Bears. The Lions, the Jets, the Bills, the Packers, the Eagles, the Vikings. Now, some of them are home games. The Packers game is a home game, uh, and the Vikings game is a home game. So we still got some tough games for the Bears to play. I just hope Justin Fields can finish the season strong. And if they win a ton of games, I take that too. I take that too.
Hey, we gonna be here for it. We gonna be here for it. Rain, sleet, sun or shine. We gonna be here for it. And quick programming note. We gonna be going live more than just the one time a week, so y'all can get used to seeing our faces. So y'all can get used to the Watch the Game crew coming over here and giving our points of view on what we see from all the sports we watch. We don't just watch the Bears or the NFL. We do watch college football, college basketball. Baseball, we're not talking about because I hate the Astros. That's my official stance right now. I hate the Astros. Y'all know I'm a Yankees fan. But we
You ain't gonna root for Dusty, man.
listen, hey, if Dusty get one, it's cool. But I will not watch 1 minute of the World Series because I'm still upset and I'm pissed off that the Yankees got swept.
I can understand that. I can understand that. Plus, you got the Bears, on riding the wave of this win. I guess you can focus on the Bears and your Michigan Wolverines. Speaking of the Wolverines, Michigan Wolverines, they got Michigan State. They playing that game in Ann Arbor, right?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. You see, I'm talking real reckless right now. It's gonna be ugly. Okay. I still feel good about going to Columbus at the end of the year, but I know for a fact Michigan is gonna blow the doors off of Michigan State just because what happened last year. It was a controversial call where we scored a touchdown. We took that off the field. That was the only game we lost last year in the regular season until we got to the playoff. We was up 16, I believe, late in that game, and we just squandered the lead. 2020, they came to the house. There was nobody in the stands, so I can't even say it was the house then. It was more like the apartment. They came in there, and they blew us off the field. Corners couldn't cover nobody. Trust me. Take this to the bank. Michigan is going to win versus Michigan State by at least 3 touchdowns. Take it to the bank.
Hey, I may have to watch that game with you as well. I mean, we got some things to talk about, and I might kick it with you, 12 and Cutter, and watch that game as well. That's a 6:30 start. If you're looking at the rest of the top four, Georgia has Florida, and that game is going to be played in Athens, Georgia. Ohio State coming on. Are they coming on? What's that?
The Georgia game. That's the 2:30 CBS game.
That's the 2:30 start. CBS.
Okay.
And for some strange reason, I thought they were playing that game last week, but Georgia had a bye week, so now they got Florida, and Ohio State has Penn State, and Tennessee has Kentucky. So Michigan, of course, playing Michigan State. That kind of rounds up your top four right there as far as who they match up with. I think the trap game in this, it might be 2 trap games in this. Florida and Georgia, Ohio State and Penn State.
I would have went Ohio State, Penn State as a trap game because Penn State just got blew off the field. Ohio State just played Iowa, so they kind of riding high. Penn State kind of, they want to come back on the field and be like, yo, we not as bad as we was when we showed versus Michigan. So I think that could be a trap game. And my other trap game would be Tennessee versus Kentucky. Now, I know Kentucky is ranked, but Tennessee's been riding so high and been playing. How many ranked teams have they beat this year?
Oh man, I can't even count them. I mean, I know they beat at least 2 or 3 of them.
Right. So, what is that game in Knoxville or is it in Kentucky, Lexington?
That game is in Knoxville, and they'll be having the blackout this week. They've been promoting the black uniforms with the orange numbers on them, so they'll be having a blackout.
That might be nice.
Yeah, they'll be having a blackout in Knoxville. That's a 6 o'clock start. So those games, as far as college football, I'll be looking forward to seeing, and I might, like I said, join you for that 6:30 game, and I'm glad it's a 6:30 game because, getting up early, taking that ride kind of rough. So we get a chance to get the sleep out our eyes and take in a few games, maybe watch the Buckeyes and Penn State. And then maybe by the time that Florida game is started, maybe I'll be out and join you guys to watch the night game of the Michigan State and Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. So tonight, one thing we will not that this Robert Quinn trade just pushed basketball to the back burner. I wanted to talk about some basketball, but the Robert Quinn thing kind of just threw me for a loop, and I knew we had to talk about it. So we stay heavy on football tonight. Bears football, predominantly Bears. Bears, Dallas Sunday, and then you got these big college football games we just talked about coming up on Saturday. I'm looking to join you. Stay with us at Watch the Game podcast. We're building this thing. We need you to help it grow. Watch the Game podcast.
Yo, like and subscribe so I can get my like charge back up. Like and subscribe to the channel. Please follow us. Watch the Game podcast at WTG Podcast 1 at Penn Danica on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at LA Cheatham on Facebook. Please get in tune with us. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. I check my Twitter and check my Facebook post to let you know the next time we're going to go on, because we're going to be going on more than just one time a week. We're going to ramp this thing up. So y'all be checking. Watch the Game podcast. Thank you for kicking it with us, and we are out of here.